Holy crap. I can't believe we've survived. We are back.
We're
I'm
back.
almost nervous. I'm almost nervous to stream. That's how long it's been.
We're back. We're
How
back.
are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's been a long time.
You look great. I think you've lost more weight. Got a good haircut. Did you get that haircut in Russia?
I did. Looks nice, huh?
The Moscow fade. Where are you now, Carmen San Diego?
I am still in the region and doing big things, and there's more to come in the coming weeks. I'll preview it. We've got a lot of good things on the horizon, so everybody stay tuned to DD Geopolitics as always. But
You
Sarah and
guys
I had the
good.
adventure of a lifetime in Iran. So all of you, if you haven't seen our content, check it out.
Yes, guys, please. Actually, there's been so much content from Iran. We still haven't even posted it all. There's one more, I think there's one or two more interviews left to post, one of my personal favorites. So that'll probably be posted this weekend. But like the Bukhaidi interview, it got slept on, I think, because it was just posted in shorts. But guys, make sure you go check that out because we're going to talk about Yemen heavily today. And when we were in Iran, we were blessed to meet Ansar Allah, members of the Yemeni armed forces. We were with them when we'll talk about all that, but we were with them when they broke the blockade. But as you guys can see, we have been traveling very heavily, buying new equipment and trying to survive. So if you find it in your hearts, though I know that the economies in the West are not doing that great, please click some links, maybe buy some merch, subscribe on Substack or YouTube. This is still my favorite merch that we have, but we have new merch now. We'll be coming out with newer merch, so you can kind of get something by giving something. But yes, we are now on the road, I think indefinitely, and we'll talk about all of that too. But so you've been on a West Asia conquest, but let's first start with Iran. And I don't know, what do you guys want to know about Iran? Is there anything you guys want to? I feel like I've talked about it extensively. You've been harassed extensively. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? Tell us about the sort of, I have my own, but it's definitely not as much as you, but tell us about the sort of onslaught of attacks that you've received, especially from the American media. Oh, hi, Nick. It's so good to see you.
Good to
Especially
see
from the
Nick.
American media and Laura Loomer and even American Congress. So why don't you kind of walk us through what happened while you were in Iran and how that all kind of transpired?
Well, so, while I was in Iran, it became clear very quickly for the funeral. I was with you and our producer and so many other great people. It became clear that I was the only American elected politician in Iran, paying tribute and, commemorating the life of our martyred leader, Imam Khamenei, and his family, and of all the civilians, really, and really bearing witness to all of the destruction unleashed by the Epstein coalition. So what did I do? I did what anybody with a conscience would do. I invoked my authority as an elected official to show my solidarity and support for the Iranian people. And the backlash was immediate because they said, okay, you can be there in a personal capacity, but this guy is going and making pronouncements of solidarity in his political office's name. Well, of course, all the other politicians in the US do the same, but they do it for the Zionist entity. They do it for their vassals and their political interests. I did it on behalf of the Axis of Resistance, on behalf of Iran, on behalf of Palestine. So Laura Loomer went nuts, and we had this letter. I don't know if we can pull it up. I don't know if we have it as an asset here.
It was Max, wasn't that his name? Max
Max
Miller?
Miller, Max Miller, Randy Fine, and the other Israel First crew wrote a letter from Congress to Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Acting Attorney General Blanche, and basically said, you got to investigate Calla Walsh, Jackson Hinkle, and Christopher Halali for providing material support to the IRGC, which is a terrorist organization designated terrorist organization, and also invoked They made mention of my political office in there. Said I should be stripped of my political office, more or less, but invoked also the threat of execution. It's on the last page. They say that executions act. So of course they're saying that we should be stripped of our citizenship, we should be charged for supporting terrorism, and we should be executed possibly. I mean, this is unbelievable. And it was signed by
These people are
seven.
so sick.
Yeah, they're so
Hey,
sick.
look at
There's
the
sick people. And it was signed by those six, and then there was another page with one additional signature, so it was seven total. And then Laura Loomer went on the attack and said that I'm going to jail. When I said that I wouldn't bow to Epsteinism, I wouldn't submit to Epsteinism. Um, but there you go. DD geopolitics,
Here's my post. Americans, get a fucking grip challenge impossible. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And of course, some psychopaths that really don't matter that much did tag me in the replies.
Yep.
To get the FBI after me. But you had a really great interview that I want people to check out. It was with your local media, wasn't it? It was with the Vermont Digger. Was that who it was with?
That's
and that
right.
kind of started the snowball effect, yeah?
That's right. Exactly.
Guys, go check out that interview. I was there when he was doing it. It was amazing.
I also was interviewed, Sarah's absolutely right. I also was interviewed by CNN. So CNN International had a clip of me.
Tell them about the CNN incident.
Oh, so this is great. So we're on our way back from Mashhad, from the burial, and I was there. In the shrine of Imam Reza, and basically on the way back, I was contacted by a CNN journalist and was asked to do an interview on why I'm there, what's going on, this and that. Well, I mean, I thought they wanted to catch me, but I ended up catching the interviewer. I spent about 20 to 25 minutes in the car. Uncle Haz was there, as was Suleiman Ahmed, Suleiman Sheikh, for those who know on X. So they were both in the car with me, and they heard, and they were like, "You killed it! You killed it!" It was banger. And then they used, I think, 30 to 40 seconds of the 20 to 25-minute interview. And when I asked CNN for the full interview so that I could release it, no response.
They ghosted you.
They ghosted me.
But now you have more media crawling around. Can you talk about it?
Yeah, so I've been approached by, I won't give the entity yet, so it can go there. But I will say that I've been approached by a major U.S. publication for an interview in the coming days, and be sure to check that out. All in all, we continue to do the work, and everybody is paying attention, which is very good. By the way, I was just on RT with an amazing panel on RT International. It was Daniel McAdams, friend of the show, our beloved friend of the show, and also Jose Vega. It was Daniel, Jose Vega, and me.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, talking about third parties and the upcoming election. So here we go. There we have it.
Of course, our team wants to talk about third parties in the upcoming elections, right? The ones that Russia rigs or whatever Trump says.
Oh, totally.
So I don't know if you guys want to dive into the news. Some people are kind of wondering why we're not going home. I don't know whether now there's an echo.
You're good on my side.
Whatever. Okay, so why they're wondering why we're not going home because of the absolute insane. Yeah, I can't do this. 1 second.
Can you hear the echo on my side, or is it normal?
It's normal.
Now you're normal.
I don't know what happened. I think I fixed it. God, this thing is so finicky. Okay, so why we're not going home. So while we were out there, obviously, we kind of first started to get nervous because Max Blumenthal was detained, and his detainment was. Did I fixed the echo? Fixed it. Yeah. See? Okay. Now it's back again. Amazing. Now you're muted. Cool. Okay. Anyway, now the echo's gone for me anyway. But we decided not to go home, not just because of that. We saw Max Blumenthal was detained. And we thought, someone of this sort of esteem and this sort of international popularity and recognition has detained what hope is there for me going home. And then it kind of snowballed after that. We got Chris's letter, which anytime Chris is in trouble, I automatically kind of take it as I'm also in trouble. One, for solidarity, and two, because America is very much a guilt by association type of country. And I know that they'll hold me in order to get to Chris, or they'll hold me until I give them information on Chris, which most of which I do not have. So it would be frivolous and fruitless anyway. So that was the next thing. The other thing was that they started with the talking about arresting journalists for leaking incorrect information, which my contention is, how can you leak incorrect information? Then it's no longer a leak. You can only leak accurate information, number one. Number two, journalists don't leak information. They're not privy to these conversations in order to leak them. Sure, maybe their tips are given or anonymous sources are had, but journalists don't leak information. And now we all know from Trump's recent statements that incorrect information just means information they don't like, such as them not having any air defense systems or the fact that they're all pedophiles. So there's a few things that we talk about that would probably get me in trouble. And I thought that what's worth more to me is to continue to tell the truth, or is it to try to go home and have my creature comforts back at my house and not being afraid? Who wants to live like that every single day? Waking up and wondering, it's today. Guys, the FBI has already been at my house 3 times, and that was under the Biden regime. I was detained under the Trump regime. So we're disliked by both parties, which I'm proud of. But like, nothing is going to get better for people like us in the foreseeable future. So I think that's why we decided not to go home. And Chris had already decided not to go home. And, I was planning on leaving anyway. So, but yeah, so Chris, unmute and see if it still echoes.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I think that, we just want to take the precautions and take care of Sarah. And there are so many other journalists that need to be taken care of. And we see that, the intensity is increased. I mean, the level of attacks on independent journalists, independent voices, and now this kind of specter of communism, this McCarthyism 2.0. We've been saying this neo-McCarthyism, McCarthyism 2.0 has been happening now for some time. But Trump is openly calling people communists, like while he's on stage. I mean, it's not safe for me to go back. It hasn't been safe. And I left, in April 2025. But yeah, I think that Sarah leaving is a helpful step and one that will, keep her protected. And I think that anybody who feels threatened, if you can and have the ability, you leave, because I think that, people's voices are more powerful when they are free and able to do this work than when they are, for example, behind bars. And it's not helpful in that way. It's not helpful. So we made that step, and we're doing great things, and there's a lot of good things to come. So it's not necessarily a negative. It's in fact a great positive, and we're going to continue to be a thorn in the side. But we do it for free. I'll just echo what Sarah was saying earlier. We do it for free, whereas Larry Loomer does it for $2 million or so in Kiev, looking for a handout from the narco Führer. But please, if you can, help out, help support the channel. We really need it, and we have a lot to get to today. You want to start with Yemen?
Yeah, let's get started. I'm going to mute you while I talk, and then I'll unmute you. But let's talk about Yemen. Yemen is on the assault on the San al-Jin camp, which is arguably the single most important military installation in Marib, and one of the most strategically significant. They say it's government controlled, meaning the Saudi recognized government of Yemen. So really, it's just a Saudi mercenary deployment base. It's on the western edge of Marib city. and it overlooks the main approaches from Sana'a. Whoever controls this base effectively controls the military gateway into Marib. So let's take a look at what the Yemenis have done.
Ya Allah, ya Allah. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel.
So that was yesterday. This is today.
لا إله إلا الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون.
And here's them running. Curtis, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you think is going on here? I know that this is actually will open up a pathway for Yemen to go right in, but go ahead.
I think what we're seeing is we're seeing the government in Sana'a under Ansarallah basically saying, look, we're not going to be defensive because we've been defensive the whole time and this still is defensive. We're going to be defensive and be proactive and begin to target the forces that have been used against us since 2014 or so, a little bit earlier. You know, we're going to basically strike back at these forces that are coalescing on the border and have already tried incursions. So that's what they're doing. And we've seen that already use of the ballistic missiles and use of their drones have been very effective. And I think it's also psychological. It's also showing that Ansarallah, yes, it controls less territory, but in fact has a greater military power than the so-called government in Aden and its supporters, and especially its Saudi backers. So I think what we're seeing is what we call siege for siege warfare, which as we were in Iran together when we heard Yahya Sari basically speak of this. And we instantly jumped on it and said, this is fantastic. This is exactly what was needed all along. Siege for siege. So we saw that the Ansarallah forces of the Yemen government in Sana'a basically sieged the Saudi ports along the Red Sea and attacked tankers and didn't allow for oil transports. And now we see this great graph, historic graph, Trump can make fun of Yemen all he wants, but look at this. This is the power of Yemen. This is the power of people who I met and spent time with and who are constantly maligned for wearing sandals and, looking a little bit disheveled and having a big thing of gat in their mouth. But guess what? They flatlined oil exports from Saudi Arabia to the US. That's the power of Yemen and of the Yemeni armed forces. So I think we're going to see a lot more of this. I think we're going to see significant strikes against, once again, this siege coalition, which is trying to starve Sana'a, which is trying to continue to impose maximalist sanctions. And I think ultimately we're going to see a reunification that's going to come on the side of Ansarallah. Ansarallah will be the dominant force in Yemen forevermore. And that's it. It's a Quranic revolution and it continues on forward.
I think that it's also important that you guys know about the significance of this actual base. It's like comparable to like Fort Bragg, which is obviously a major hub in the United States network of bases. Because of what is at this base, it has headquarters, logistics, weapons storage, which you saw some of the weapons stores being blown up, troop assembly and operational planning. And so, hi, Uncle Haas, thanks for coming. And so this is a very significant base. So these attacks went on last night for the most part. I mean, if you look back though, it has been attacked previously by Ansar Allah back in the 2021-2022 Battle of Marib, and in 2020 it was also attacked. But so they attacked last night and then they attacked today. During the day today, the new unholy trinity was revealed of Pakistan, Saudi, and Turkey. Let me just go over this, and I want to get Chris's thoughts on this new sort of alliance. This can be viewed as a positive or negative depending on how you look at it. It's called the Mecca Joint Defense Agreement. It includes collective defense clause, which on an attack on one is to be seen as an attack on all, kind of akin to NATO Article 5. But this elevates their military cooperation beyond joint exercises. And it's what this shows me, and this is why I'm thinking of it as maybe a positive, is that it shows that Saudi is recognizing that it can no longer rely on the United States for its protection. But can it rely on Pakistan and Turkey? Here's a copy of the statement. We're not going to read all that, but hope you're having a good day or whatever. Free Palestine. What do you think about this alliance? It doesn't put Saudi under the Turkish or Pakistani nuclear umbrella at all. But it does say that Saudi is now understands that it is not going to be protected by its Israeli/United States allies. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think number one, at the very basic level, this is a continuation of what Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have already agreed to, and what Turkey has already indicated it wanted to do. This kind of move back, this kind of like neo-Ottomanism, but I also have reservations. I think that this is aimed at Iran because Pakistan is on the eastern side, Turkey on the northwestern side, and Saudi Arabia in the southwest. So I think that this is ultimately geared toward, I mean, if you look at it strategically, it does kind of surround Iran. Now, these three countries all have played major parts in hosting over the past decades the United States and the United States military forces. So we've seen that Saudi Arabia's ISI is very close to the US and maintains good relations with the US. It also maintains good relations with Iran. So I'm not saying this to the brotherly people of Pakistan, but of course there are elements of the government that want to be pro-Western. There are other elements that want to be more on the side of Iran. Saudi Arabia, of course, even though they don't recognize Israel, and they continue to speak in platitudes, they have very deep relations with the United States and have bases for decades, US bases. They also have oppressed their local Shia population. And Turkey, of course, is a NATO member, the second largest NATO army, and hosts not only US bases, but nuclear capable fighters. And historically, the Jupiter missiles and other missile systems of the US military. So I think that, sure, it's this so-called Muslim alliance, so to speak, but I think that it has ulterior motives. And I think that that will come through time. Certainly, Saudi Arabia realizes that it cannot trust the US and Israel for its own protection, but it also has its own designs for regional hegemony. Saudi Arabia has been at war against the people of Yemen. Saudi Arabia has helped to supply and arm Wahhabi Salafi insurgents, and they were very pivotal in the overthrow of the government of Bashar al-Assad, in the training of various groups that helped to overthrow members of the Axis of Resistance. It even kidnapped and held hostage one of the prime ministers of Lebanon. So
a lot of people have no idea about that.
Yes, this all happened. So I think we need to understand that Saudi Arabia, and of course, for me, Saudi Arabia has also had a lot of crimes committed, culturally speaking, against Islamic monuments that are holy for Shia Muslims and so many others. So I think that overall, I think that there are multiple ways we can see this. Certainly, it's a positive if you want to spin it as sort of multipolar opening, but I still think that the US is deeply invested in these three countries and that it also can serve ulterior motives. Not to say that it will, but the possibility exists.
Let's get some reactions. So this is a pretty telling tweet, post, whatever they're called these days, from Israeli War Room, which is actually just the Israeli government. And it says, Iran bombed Turkey 4 times this year, and Erdogan did nothing. Hopefully, Saudi isn't expecting Turkey to actually do anything next time the IRGC or its terror proxies bomb the kingdom. Okay, firstly, Iran never bombed Turkey. There were claims that Iran's missiles entered into Turkish airspace, which Iran denied, which I believe. But this tweet tells me that Israel probably bombed Turkey, and now they plan on bombing Saudi Arabia to test this alliance out. What do you think?
I absolutely think that Israel is prepared for escalating the war against Turkey, and obviously Saudi Arabia is also an enemy for them. I think that they really want to have Saudi Arabia in the Abraham Accords, and they constantly speak about this. Remember, just recently, the United States basically said that if Saudi Arabia, to an already agreed upon civilian nuclear program, if Saudi Arabia wants that, they have to sign on to the Abraham Accords, of which they were like, wait a second, we didn't agree to that. That wasn't part of the deal. So you can see that Trump just renegotiates, second to second. So I think that certainly for the Israelis, they see Saudi Arabia as a threat. And they will continue to do so. Also, in the case of Pakistan as well, Pakistan doesn't recognize, Israel, nor does Saudi Arabia. Turkey maintains diplomatic relations with Israel, strangely enough. So it's a very interesting mix of countries. Is it more propaganda than anything materially speaking? I guess time will tell.
More reaction. So we have now the reaction from Arakchi saying, and there are some video reactions from Pezeshkian that we didn't have time to translate for the show. But they are available pretty widely if you guys want to watch them. I think that X has auto translations for Farsi. But Sayed Abbas Arakchi says, Iran's powerful armed forces have shown their readiness, capability, and might in the face of the world's most expensive military. When Muslims stand together, we can face every challenge by malicious outsiders head on. Time to rely on ourselves and embrace true brotherhood. I'm not sure how to take this. Looks like he's looking at it like I am, but we do. What are your thoughts on his reaction?
I think his reaction is one of optimism and one of openness to the possibilities of what this defensive alliance could be. But I think history has shown Saudi Arabia. Listen, we covered it from day one of the Ramadan war. Saudi Arabian airspace and Saudi Arabian bases were used to target Iran. There is no doubt about it. It has been acknowledged and it has been widely publicized. So yes, Iran is doing the diplomatic thing, but Saudi Arabia was used as a launching pad, as was, some have argued, Turkey and Azerbaijan. So I think that there's a lot of things involved in this, and there's a lot of concerns as to what's going on here.
Did I fix it?
I think so.
Whoa. I once was an avionics technician. But I just want to remind people that this is not an Islamic NATO, as people are referring to it. There's no integrated command structure. There's no equivalent to permanent headquarters. And there is no operational planning like how NATO does.
Also, we should address one thing. Our mutual friend of the show, and a contributor soon, inshallah, John Hussein from Pakistan. John Hussein, when we were in Iran, what did he say? He said that Pakistan is a nuclear power. It's the only Muslim nuclear power, but that its own nuclear missiles are at also the command of the United States. They have a level of control over them regarding some secret pacts and agreements with the US. So that's important to note that, okay, yes, Pakistan has the bomb, but the use of the bomb is highly regulated and not sovereign. It is also deeply tied to the United States. And so John was basically saying it's useless to have these nuclear weapons. It's only a deterrent against India, and even then it wasn't a deterrent during the recent war. Chinese technology was the real deterrent that downed 5 or so fighter aircraft. But the nuclear weapons just, level the playing field with India.
Yeah, and as we've seen, and we'll talk about Russia later, but as we've seen, nukes are not a deterrent. So,
Correct.
Let's get the Yemenis' reaction to the Saudi pact.
وجيشك جيش كرتوني بالستيك صونك من ورق صفرة وكاكي يا ماني ما عرف كبسه ولا كيك رضع بارود من جرم الوزاكي نهاية جيش سلمان الصعاليك وحلفه بيحن بداخل شباكي توكلنا على الله بالبلدك على سلمة نوحي الملك نفوضكم من الشام الدمشق ونتوافق على اسمك
الآية. I love it.
That's not their actual reaction. I just love that video. But their actual reaction was, we are going to test this alliance out. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens when we test it out. And we expected them to release a statement today. Yes, we love the Yemeni people, and I can't believe what a blessing it was to meet them and be with them in person, especially when the blockade was breaking or when we were seeing the cracks begin to show. Just the warmth of these people. And Chris will tell you, we had about 300 to 400 Yemenis in our hotel, and then half left, and then the rest left, and the hotel was like a ghost town. It was like so quiet. It was so sad. But it was empty, and my whole floor had Yemenis like dancing and singing. I could hear them because they would leave their doors open so they could go into each other's room, and they're just chewing their cud, singing and dancing while the siege was being broken. Oh, it was just such an amazing experience. But they did respond tonight by attacking Marib again, which is not technically Saudi territory, but this is them sort of clearing paths to get maybe all the way into Saudi. We'll see how far they go. Blockade for blockade. And as we showed you guys, the blockade is more than working. This is the lowest that this has been since the 70s oil embargo.
So unbelievable. Really unbelievable.
Unbelievable. All right. Next on the agenda is you got to go to Karbala again. We have amazing videos. So let's woo!
Hi everyone, this is Christopher Halali from GD Geopolitics reporting to you from Karbala in Iraq. We are now just a day away from Arba'in, which marks the 40th day of mourning since the events in Karbala during Ashura, where we had the martyrdom of Imam Hussein and his family and companions. Now, this year is a very special time here, and as many of you know, on February 28th, the United States and the Zionist regime launched an illegal war of aggression against the Islamic Republic of Iran, and in the first day, they martyred the supreme leader, Imam Sayyid Ali Khamenei, and also murdered 168 young children at the girls' school in Minab, which I visited when I was in Iran in April and May. The question that is on everyone's mind is what comes next. And you see on the streets below us, you see the red flags of revenge, because many are crying out for justice. They're crying out for revenge, intiqam. They're crying out for blood for blood. And the reason is that the international community has once again failed to enact any form of justice for the victims, and has once again allowed the perpetrators to walk free. Not only to walk free, to continue their aggression without any consequence. But the people here and the people around the world who are standing on the side of truth, on the side of justice, they are demanding their justice. They are demanding someone be held accountable for what has happened to Imam Khamenei and to all of the innocent civilians that have been murdered by the US Zionist regime and also by their regional allies. So to kind of give you the atmosphere here, the atmosphere here is one of dignity, is one of mourning, but also one of intense struggle to continue to struggle, to continue to seek revenge, to continue to exact the price for what has been paid in blood by the people, not only of Iran, but the people of Iraq, the people of Lebanon, the people of Palestine, the people of Yemen, the people of Syria, and the people throughout the region and around the world. So this Arba'in, revenge, is really that thing that binds the people, and revenge not only for what has happened today, but revenge for all of the oppression through history. And inshallah, we will have true justice in the future, and we will have a more peaceful and equitable world for all.
I think that there was a lot of confusion surrounding I guess they were technically Saudi attacks on Iraq, right? The Yemenis attacked Saudi. Saudi blamed Iraq. The Yemenis said, no, guys, that was us. What are you doing? And Saudi still bombed a PMF positions inside of Iraq, correct? Is that, if I'm remembering correctly?
Including near to Karbala.
It was right before you got there, right?
Correct.
So I do want to stress that was a total, complete setup. Was that the Yemenis bombed them, not only accepted responsibility, but bragged about it as they would. And the Iraqis said, we didn't do this. We literally have Arba'in coming up. Why would we get involved in this right now? Which we we met with our Iraqi friends when we were in Iran, but before you got to go back to Iraq. You weren't there that day, but we discussed some of these things. And, they were talking like, we're not going to start anything until we know that like pilgrims are our number one priority. Arba'in is our number one priority. And while we're hearing all of this, I should have uploaded the video. My apologies for not. But I believe it was the Iraqi foreign minister announces that Ukrainian terrorists are running through Iraq at the same time. We saw oil refineries blow up. He told us, the foreign minister said in the interview that they were in Iraqi Kurdistan. I contacted our friends in Iraq to get some more information about that. And he said they've been there for a good while in Iraqi Kurdistan, trying to teach them how to utilize drones, which now kind of explains the increased amount of hits from Iran on Iraqi Kurdistan following the illegal Ukrainian strike on the Iranian ship in the Caspian Sea. So maybe Iran knows more about these positions inside of Iraqi Kurdistan than we do, obviously. Well, I'm sure they do, but than anyone's letting on, other than our friends in Iraq who told us, yes, they've been in Iraqi Kurdistan for almost a year, training the Kurds. And why do Ukrainian? We could talk more about Ukraine later, but what can you tell us about what the vibe was like when you got to Iraq? How were people even were they mentioning the Ukrainians? Were they talking about the Saudis? I know that a lot of people, I watched a lot of Sully's content. Obviously, I watched yours. A lot of people are calling for revenge. What can you tell us about it?
A lot of people calling for revenge. A lot of people very angry about the Saudi role in all of this. A lot of calls for Islamic unity and for bridging the Shia-Sunni divide, which they said has been artificially created by the West and pushed upon them, forced upon them these days, especially with the Saudis and others who are trying to divide the ummah, so to speak. So there was really calls for union, for struggle together, and for really fighting for justice. That was a big thing. We saw actually dozens of clerics from Palestine, Sunni Muslim leaders who were in Karbala, who prayed alongside their Shia brothers and sisters at the holy shrine of Imam Hussein, and there were calls for this unity in confronting Zionism and imperialism. That was a big thing. About the Ukrainian situation, we saw a lot of people connecting finally the conflict in Donbass, the conflict in Ukraine, with what's going on in the region. And of course, we have I'm sure there's a clip we have, but we have our, I told you so, But that's we did, we were at the forefront. Sarah wrote a whole article about it. I've been speaking about it in my speeches now for a few years at the World Anti-Imperialist Platform, that these are multiple fronts in an overall massive new world war. And though we don't feel it the same way as the Second World War, it certainly is felt by a lot of people, in the countries and in the regions where it's happening. And that's something
We can
that
thank Laura Loomer for this. I want to thank Laura Loomer for doing, I guess, what we had been screaming into the void about for 2 years. Actually, when the genocide started, I knew that these fronts were going to converge.
Yep.
But Laura Loomer really just became like a catalyst for that. There's no denying the connection between these two fronts now. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more when we get into our next couple segments. But so anything else you want to tell us about Karbala? We went together last year. I had the time of my life. Was one of the most enriching experiences and spiritual. You felt it also at the shrines in Iran, in Mashhad. There's this it's not eerie, serendipitous or sublime feeling when you're walking on such holy ground. You can tell that this is just hallowed ground. And even when you're not close to Karbala and you're just with the pilgrims, it's them that make it. You can feel that this ground has been walked on for over 1,000 years. And that, we've been to some of the oldest cities in the world. But what can you tell us was the difference between this Karbala or this Arbaeen and last year's Arbaeen?
Of course, the war has changed everything. And there were a lot of images of Imam Khamenei, a lot of images of the martyrs, a lot of stickers and banners and posters and badges about the kids in Minab, a lot of martyrs. From Hezbollah in Lebanon, a lot of people came who were injured in the ongoing aggression by the Zionist entity. A lot of people had their portraits of the martyrs. We saw the same from those from Yemen. There weren't many from Yemen who were able to make the pilgrimage, but we did see the banners, at least, that were out there. A lot from Iraq, from PMF soldiers. They were everywhere. PMF soldiers that had been targeted by the Epstein coalition. And a lot of Palestinians. We saw, of course, Palestinian leadership. We called it Sinwarism, but I did see posters of Yahya Sinwar. And of course, I took a very famous, but here, this is what I had with me. And, everybody had keffiyehs on. Everybody was sporting their support and solidarity. A lot of flags of the entire resistance. So that was really important. And I think that this Arbaeen was much more about a unity in struggle against Zionism and imperialism than ever before, and of defense of Iran, of Lebanon, of Palestine, of Iraq, and of Yemen. So yeah, we could see it. There were a lot of international guests as well, so that was really fantastic once again. And thankfully, there's been more and more coverage of Arbaeen, which is good. There was also Western, mainstream media that was there. And so it's good to see it. It was in total about 20 million people this year, give or take. And it was once again, thanks to all of the Iraqis who opened their hearts, who opened their houses, who opened their, and shared their treasure and everything that they had with all the pilgrims. Once again, it shows the full beauty and the depth of Iraqi hospitality, which no one can come close to in that regard.
And guys, we are in the process of I've already created it, but we are in the process of globalizing. We are now globalists, but we are globalizing Sinwarism. You can visit the website, ddgeopolitics.com/shop, if you want to represent that. But yeah, so Sinwarism is this, it's not a new ideology. If you guys study Sinwar's writings, I've become very infatuated with him lately. Very inspired by him and his writings and ideology, and just, that resistance is always moral, resistance is always necessary. And I kind of, we didn't, I don't want to say we made it as a joke, but we kind of made the t-shirt as a parody of Uncle Sam. And then I was like, what is Sinwarism? And I kind of just started toying with that idea. And yeah, I think that this is something that people really need to read his writings. They really need to read what he wrote, and what he said, I mean, the videos were floating around again today, what he said about Iran, how there would be no Palestinian resistance had it not been for Iran. And I see a lot of people that do the whole, I support Palestine, but I can't go the next step and support Iran. That's just that's a bridge too far. Well, then you can't really support Palestine.
Yep. No,
or if you just support Palestine and you don't recognize the necessity of Hamas, then do you really want to free Palestine?
Mm-hmm. I just want to emphasize, there was a question in the chat which was very good. Were Christians and other non-Muslims made to feel welcome? Absolutely. There was a famous Russian Orthodox Christian blogger who was there with her husband. They made food for pilgrims. They went viral, their content. They were made to feel so welcome. There were Christian priests. There were delegations from different religious communities within Iraq and the region. There were journalists from all over denominations. There were a lot of Sunnis as well. In fact, when we were praying, you could see some people who were not Shia in terms of their prayer form, and they were crossing their hands. So you could see that there was unity amongst all the people. And we were with Suleiman Sheikh, for those who know him on X, and he's a Sufi, but he's in the Sunni tradition, and he was very welcome, and we really enjoyed spending time with him and traveling throughout the region. In Baghdad, we went to the shrine of the 8th and 11th, the 7th and the 9th Imams. And then we went to Karbala, to the shrines of Imam Hussein and Hazrat Abbas. But it was amazing. Suleiman felt very welcome. I don't think there was any sort of pressure.
I went as a very white Western Christian woman.
Exactly.
First, they asked if I was Billie Eilish, but after the first initial question, I mean, these people will literally open their bedrooms to you. They'll let you in their homes if you need to shower, if you need to eat, if you need to use the bathroom. They have food everywhere. I mean, you guys probably saw some of the pictures of the tables just lined with fruit and people giving it out, children giving out juice and refreshments along the way. It's considered an honor to take care of it. And if you know anything about Iraqis, which obviously we've known from hanging out with them and them welcoming us into their country, they all of the West Asians, everyone in the Middle East, West Asia, whatever your preference is, they all compete to see who could be the most hospitable. But nobody is so committed to that competition than the Iraqis. So every time we go anywhere, I always tell the Iraqis how good the program was. So they try to beat it when we go back to Iraq. But that's just how the Iraqis are. Their generosity is unmatched, because for them, it's like, this is how we kind of show who we are. This is how we show our pride in our nation. And this is how we show our pride in our country, by like opening it up and sharing it with everybody.
Absolutely.
And so I really love that about the Iraqis. And they really showed out. I think there were a few videos, and I should have uploaded them, but how the differences between the PMF and how they treat their pilgrims and how the Saudi police treat their pilgrims. Complete opposite. The PMF will literally go up to people and thank them themselves and kiss them on the head. And the Saudis are just beating people back for not behaving a certain way. But that's neither here nor there, I guess.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Once again, thank you to Iraq. Thank you, and look forward to going back to Arba'in next year. That's the real joy.
Again, a hat trick.
Absolutely.
Just gonna have an Arba'in stamp card.
I'm ready.
Let's. You got to stop in Russia before you headed out to the leg that you're on now, but let's take a look at the Black Sea blockade.
In einem Bächlein hell, da schoss sie froh ein, die launische Forelle vorüber wie ein Pfeil. Ich stand an dem Gestade und sah im süßer Ruh des muntern Fischleins Bade.
So that's just this last few days.
Yeah.
From what I've been watching, and forgive me, Russia, I haven't because we've been so busy. I haven't gotten to pay close attention to the front or to what Russia's doing, but the attacks in the Black Sea have ramped up. It's clear that Ukraine has no air defense to speak of. What's going on in Moscow? What are people talking about?
People are talking. Well, first of all, there's a lot of drones that are. Moscow is. I think the mayor, Svenia, was saying that there were about 2,000 or so drones that have been launched at a time. Basically in a certain set period, just a week or two, that are being launched against Moscow. Moscow is experiencing a lot of drone attacks, but the air defense is working more or less. A lot of civilian life has been saved. A lot of infrastructure has been saved. But Ukraine now is resorting to terrorism. Is resorting to terrorism of infrastructure, of civilian and residential areas. We've seen it over not only recently, but over the past months. We were one of the first teams on the ground, along with Shea Bose and Rick Sanchez and the crew at Starobelsk, at the university there, at the college that was targeted, with 19 girls and 3 boys that were killed, students. We saw it with the Belarus kids on the bus. We saw it with various oil refineries hit. We saw it at the start of SPIF, just a month or 2 months ago now, where they were also, drones were sent at that time. So you've seen all of this happening and transpiring. It's a real shock, but this is what the Ukrainian regime is resorting to. And Russia now is basically, I think, taking a page out of the Yemeni textbook, siege for siege. And now they're saying, okay, you want to target Wildberries? We're going to target all of your post offices and distribution warehouses of all of your firms. And you've seen that, Ukraine is collapsing more or less at this point. Another couple months of this, and I don't know if Ukraine will be able to do logistics properly for its population.
They've already said, I think it might have been the defense minister, forgive me, they all run into one another now because they're constantly fired or just being retarded. But they said that, I think 95% of them won't have constant power or power at all this winter. So that's, we're seeing, the thing is that the Ukrainian stands get a lot of they have the TikTok army. So you're going to get all of the boom and the we hit a warehouse. Guys, if you think about it this way, Chris said they're launching up to 2,000 drones a night. And how many are getting through? Less than a dozen? That's not very good ratio. So,
and not only that, they're poking the beast at a time when they don't have interceptor missiles.
And they shot over 35, I think Iskanders the other night. Not one was intercepted.
Right. So I don't know what they're really thinking at this point, but clearly, if they want to, they're not.
Well, they're going all that.
They're poking the bear without any supplies. So good luck to them.
We wish them well in the wars to come. And speaking of wishing them well, I just got here and look who shows up. Zelensky arrives in Serbia, where I'm stationed at the moment. But Vučić wasn't there to greet him. Very small delegation greeting him. Also, don't forget that Vučić did go to Ukraine, but he refused to sign anything, and he refused to get involved in what the Europeans wanted him to get involved in. Now, I'm not sticking up for Vučić. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but this is also his first official visit to Serbia. Serbia has not allowed him to come prior to this. The Serbian people have obviously reacted. Here's a scene in Belgrade. If I can pull it up. There you go.
Yep.
NATO terrorist. Serbian people, I'm here now. Everybody that I spoke to is very anti-Ukraine. Public opinion is still overwhelmingly skeptical of NATO, obviously, because they bombed them. Zelensky's official reason for today's visit is reconstruction, or well, to be tomorrow's visit, because that's when they'll actually talk. Economic cooperation, energy, and European integration. Unofficially, Serbia's growing defense industry and strategic position make it an increasingly important player. Israel has dramatically expanded its defense footprint in Serbia, including major defense contracts and reported plans for joint drone manufacturing. That naturally raises questions about whether Ukraine is also interested in Serbia's expanding military industrial capacity. Also note that Zelensky did dismiss the ambassador to Montenegro and I think it's Albania, Montenegro, Croatia. So this was just before his visit. I'm obviously not keen on this visit, but I think it also highlights the importance of Serbia, and it's up to kind of them. Yes, they absolutely hate Biden in Serbia, but they because Biden wanted to bomb them. Biden helped create Kosovo. So, but it's also very worrying because Serbia is a country that is in no alliance because it's just can't be. It's not in NATO. It's not in the EU. It has never entered into a formal alliance. Well, it's not in a formal alliance with Russia. So it has to be self-reliant on its own sort of path. And that leads to defense contracts like the one with Israel. And also, even from the days of Tito, and Tito was obviously staunchly pro-Palestine, but they've always been non-aligned when it comes between East and West. So if there's an East versus West war, Serbia will stay unaligned and act in its own best interests. What are your thoughts about firstly, the increasing Israeli footprint inside of Serbia?
I mentioned earlier that we have confirmation of Israeli firms building up to 5 drone manufacturing plants in Serbia. And of course, there's a really deep connection between both Serbia and Republika Srpska with official ties with Israel. Israel sees them both as major partners in the region and uses the so-called Islamic threat to try to push the needle on closer relationships. And of course, we know the history of Serbia, the breakup of Yugoslavia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and everything. In any case, I think that it's a real danger for Serbia to get close to Israel. We know that the Orthodox Church still maintains a strong antithesis towards Zionism. It doesn't see it as any way connected to Christianity nor to faith. It sees it merely as a political movement. And in fact, Orthodox Christians, many of them see it as a part of the satanic, global order. We talked about that with our beloved guest, and a couple other people who've come on the show. They've had an opportunity, right? We had Andrei Afanasiev talk about the Ukrainian side and all of that. We had others who spoke about it in different dimensions. In any case, I would say that it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous for Serbia to get closer to Israel because the Turks are also having a major footprint in Bosnia. The Saudis do as well, in Kosovo, in Macedonia, in Bulgaria, in Albania. So I just feel like that whole region is ready for a 1914 moment again. And we don't want to see another explosion of violence. But sadly, I think the Zionists are pushing for that, and the Serbians are walking into a trap.
I agree. I don't want to speak out of line, obviously, with being here now. But there is also I was talking to one the other day. I said, the Israelis are playing both sides, and they're going to be happy to make you guys go to war. It's going to be so easy. Look at this. We didn't talk about it on the show. I don't know if you guys can see that. But look at that. That ISF alliance is Kosovo, Uganda, and Morocco. Now, we talked extensively on the we talked extensively about the Morocco thing on our timeline. I did a whole thread on it. But if you look at this, Kosovo, Uganda, and Morocco will be occupying Gaza. They will be calling it the International Stabilization Force. That was approved back in July. And there was a meeting here. You could see it right here. They had the meeting with Kosovo and Morocco to go to Gaza. So that's what's going on. And I think that is pretty interesting. And nobody will comment on it. Nobody will comment on the fact that Kosovo is planning on occupying Gaza. Why won't anybody comment on this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Dua Lipa doesn't say anything. She has a festival, a whole ass festival that has Katy Perry promoting the fake state of Kosovo. I also want people who have a problem with it to actually read what the hell is going on, and then go look at who recognizes Kosovo and who doesn't, because nobody in the axis of resistance recognizes this fake human trafficking state. Okay? And you could be as mad at Serbia, and you could keep crying or whatever. It doesn't matter, because Palestine, Ansar Allah, Lebanon, Iraq, and Iran have never recognized Kosovo. Ever. And who has? Israel, Saudi, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, and now I guess Syria is too, because the president of Kosovo went to Syria and told them that she'd give him whatever he wanted, and she would be with him every step of the way. Yeah. So we have and then we also know that the pact between Israel, Cyprus, and Greece is really just a pact to get Greece and Cyprus to go to war with Turkey. So yeah, I don't really know like how people don't see the writing on the wall. Israel will be happy to watch. We'll call them Muslims, even though Turkey is technically a secular state. Israel will be happy to watch Muslims and Christians go to war again, especially on the European continent. Especially on the European continent.
They love it. They love it. By the way,
so those are, yeah, go ahead.
We have John Hussein in the chat. John Hussein, we talked about Pakistan, Saudi, Turkey Defense Pact earlier. Make sure to check it out if you haven't seen it already.
Here, look at this idiot. You're an idiot. They literally said it themselves. You're a dumb idiot. Be mad, stay mad, go cry. Anyway, John Hussein, we already talked about it. Stop bossing us around. You go talk about it on your show. No Somaliland. No Somaliland. I think that that's too volatile right now. That's still kind of not really a state. It's like Israel kind of did it and then abandoned the plan, or that's a very bad situation that's going on in Somalia. Yeah. But Somalia did join the fake alliance with Saudi to protect the strait or whatever they were doing. I'm not really sure what's going on in Somaliland lately.
This is absolutely true. Greeks and Cypriots don't want to fight Turkey yet. They are similar people with a shared history. Come on, Athens. I agree with you 100%. 100%.
And I just want to show, just as a reminder, this is how Ukraine. So while Zelensky's here asking for money, I can't play the video for some reason. It doesn't work anymore. StreamYard is totally glitched. The Serbian flag.
Oh, here, I'll play it.
Так, дивись, Сашко, підстилки москалів, тепер і наші підстилки. Слава Україні! Героям слава!
While Zelensky's walking off a plane, Ukrainian soldiers on the front, before they eat a Shahed drone, are wiping their feet on the Serbian flag. Don't forget this stuff. Don't forget. I don't know if that, I guess that's all I have. We have a housewarming present. Thank you, Mickey. So I really appreciate it. Is Yemen solidly united? I'm not sure what you mean, because Yemen will be soon completely united. And the Yemeni armed forces said they have no ill will or any wish to enact violence or do anything to southern Lebanon, and that they want, or Lebanon, sorry, southern Yemen. And I'm so used to saying southern Lebanon, southern Yemen, and they have no plans or anything to go attacking that another kind of manufactured state. And thank you guys for watching. I know it's kind of a pop-up stream. We do have a really good outro for you though, and I don't know when we'll be back. When will we be back? Is it Sunday? I don't know if we'll be back. We'll try to be back on Sunday. I think that we're going to go back to our regular times, even trying to work around Chris's extensive travel schedule, which we're happy for and grateful for. But we're going to try to go back to our normal times of Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday now. And we're kind of back to set up and stationary now.
Yes.
But yeah, what else? Do you have anything else, Chris?
I just want to thank everybody for sticking with us and for supporting the channel. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share. Really share this content because we are being suppressed everywhere. For example, on my Instagram alone, I went from thousands of likes to just 100 or so with the same content output. And it's just crazy the amount of suppression we are experiencing. So everybody continue to subscribe, continue to like, continue to share. We don't make any money off of this, but we really want to spread the message. You know, that's really the main thing. This isn't a business for us. This is a passion. This is a lifelong pursuit for justice. So please continue to support us as best you can. And we really appreciate all of you.
We've given away all of our money for the most part to places like Yemen. For a while, I was giving our entire Twitter monetization. Now we're pretty much demonetized. I think it's like $40. I posted it on my personal account just because of how funny it was. But yeah, this is now we're kind of at a point where we're at a survival point. So, you know, kind of working, but we're going to keep working no matter what. Even if we have to live out of a car, we're going to keep working. So it doesn't matter. But all of your support is very much appreciated. And the best way, especially if we hate asking for money, the best way is to share the YouTube. Share the YouTube with people. Comment on it, like it, subscribe. Not the monthly subscription, but the free one. Just follow the channel and share it with people, because that's actually, we're so suppressed and demonetized on X, and I don't foresee that ever coming back, because I heard the new head of product is worse than the old head of product, but I'm not sure. I don't know how you could be worse than Nikita Beer, but I guess there's worse. Well, of course there's worse out there. Ben Shapiro exists, Alan Dershowitz.
And Jeffrey
Epstein. We love you guys. We have a fantastic outro for you guys. This is footage, or this is the recording from the Vietnam War. But I mean, you could play it today and it still rings true. So we hope you guys had a wonderful time, and we will see you again on Sunday. Chris, are you traveling?
I'll be traveling for the near future, but I'll try to make all the streams, and we're going to do a good job.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Love you. Love you.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do like this style. I don't know.
I think so. I don't know. There's a millennial style and a Zoomer style. I don't know. The kids online. All right. Thank you guys, and have a good Friday. Enjoy your Saturday. We'll see you on Sunday.
Give you a medal, GI, but only after you are dead. Your government lies to you every day, poor soldier. You have lost this war, GI. Your army will leave you behind. Imperialists make you fight this war, GI. They do not care about you. GI, your government has betrayed you. You will not return for you. GI, your airplanes bomb your own men. You are not safe here. The skies are dangerous, GI. They will napalm you tonight. Your pilots do not care that you are down here, GI. You cannot dig foxhole to hide in, GI Joe. Your bombers will fire you. GI, your helicopters fall from the sky like broken birds. They cannot see from your airplanes, GI. They come to bomb you.